Welcome to Truly Passive Income. I'm Neil Henderson.
And I'm Clint Harris. And today's guest is DJ Carroll, affectionately known as Coach Carroll in the online world. He's a Kentucky-based entrepreneur, founder, and author who built multiple businesses across services, real estate, and technology. He's the founder of Carroll Media and the creator of Ali, an AI platform focused on lead capture, call handling, and follow-up for local businesses. So DJ works closely with operators who want to control more over demand, the stronger brand presence, tighter execution. His work centers on practical systems, clear metrics, and speed. He also authored Hunter Head Game. It's a book on decision-making and performance under pressure. So extremely well-rounded. Coach Carroll, excited to have you here today. How are you, sir?
Appreciate you guys having me on, man. Excited to spend some time with you.
Absolutely. Heavy emphasis on AI mastery, so you can guess who booked this interview today. It's something I'm very excited about and spent a lot of time focusing on recently. So, Coach Carroll, give us some quick background, who you are. You've got a real well-rounded background, and we have a lot to get through today in a fairly short period of time. So
I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. So, in high school, I started my first business, turned down 8 football scholarships, was going to be a chemical engineer and go the traditional path. Let down my mom, my guidance counselor, and my chemistry teacher, and started mowing grass. And I like to say an entrepreneur was born. Grew that $300 startup to over $3 million in revenue, sold it, transitioned into power washing and window cleaning. Still own that company to this day. It's called Easy Pro. And along that path, I got pretty good at Facebook advertising. Transition, that's where we created Carroll Media back in 2016, so almost a decade now. And started working with some of the largest State Farm, Allstate, Farmers agents all across the U.S. to help them with their online brand presence and driving top-of-funnel awareness. Along that path, figured out that most agents, their websites suck, so they didn't collect a lot of leads, which is when we invented Ali to identify anonymous website visitors. And most recently added on detecting leads through their phone systems because they also suck at answering their phones, like most small business owners do. And so Ali makes sure that none of the leads slip through the cracks. And, hopped on ChatGPT back in November of 2022, saw that it could create content. And I was like, holy shit, this is going to be a game changer for advertising agencies, marketing agencies, especially us being in the social media space. And so, that's kind of the professional path. And then Coach Carroll, man, I've been doing this since, I was 23 years old. I did my first speaking engagement. And so I think entrepreneurs solve all the problems in the world. The government's never showed up and saved me or anybody that I know. And so the more entrepreneurs that I can help educate and elevate, I think it makes the world a better place. So I'm on a mission to make $1 billion impact on the world, working through entrepreneurs and doing things just like this today, being on a podcast, man. So appreciate you guys having me here.
Love it. Love it. Thanks for sharing all that. A lot to unpack there. And I want to zero in when we asked you to do it fast. So appreciate that. So I've often heard you talk about brand awareness over direct response leads. Someone who's, runs a local business, how should they think about impressions, frequency, and intent in plain terms?
Top of the funnel, man. I oftentimes when I speak on stages at conferences, I tell small business owners, you think that your biggest problem is like Timmy doesn't fill out his paperwork or Tina's late to work. It's like most of that shit is not your problem. The biggest problem most small business owners have is not enough people know who you are and what you sell. If more people know who you are and what you sold, you'd have more money. And guess what? Money fixes 99% of the problems in the business, right? Because Tina can be replaced with a higher level person if you could afford them. But the problem is most small business owners have a team of B players and C players. I call them, Sandlot, right? They got a Sandlot team and they're trying to win the Super Bowl. I get it before you guys hop in my comments and say I'm mixing baseball analogies with football. I understand. But, you got the point. And so for me, I think that people need to beat the drum louder. They need to make more noise. They need to get more attention around their brand. But let's face it, most 43-year-old grown-ass men still live like they're in high school. They don't want to put themselves out on social media because they're afraid somebody might be mean to them in the comments section. And so, timid salespeople have skinny kids.
What is the best method in your opinion of making sure that your brand is out there? Obviously social media, and that's the space that you're in. That can be laborious and time consuming for people that don't know how to do it. So, and sometimes it feels like you're standing at the edge of the Grand Canyon shouting into the void, right? Like we've been running ads the last year for raising capital for our buying self-storage, big buildings and converting them into self-storage, and running ads in my mind is a little bit like just kind of continuing to push that content and narrative of what's out there and what you're doing, how do you make sure that you're getting measurable results, and what's the most effective way to grow that brand awareness in your opinion?
Yeah, let's take a prime example. So that ad that you guys are running, what's the call to action on it?
To book a call. Usually they're clicking on a form. They're going to put in their name, their phone number, their email address. We were having a setter calling people, usually 50 to 70 leads a week. They're getting on a call. They're getting a series of drip campaign emails, and eventually they end up on the phone with Neil or myself as a closer.
To a cold audience, people that don't know you?
I'm sorry, say that again?
To a cold audience, so like people that have never seen you before?
Yeah. Meta algorithm. Yeah.
Too far down the funnel, man. You guys have to lead with some type of value, man. Gary Vee's been saying this for a decade, right? Jab, 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 right hook. Like, too many people go straight to the right hook. So it's like, hey, I don't know who you are, and you want me to get on a call about giving you your money, right? And so, like, for me, I'm like, you guys should have a guide that is like the 3 biggest mistakes people make when they try to invest in passive income. Give them value, get an opt-in, and now then your setter calls on that list, right? To me, that's a better option. The other thing is, like, a lot of times we have this happen with us all the time with insurance agents, right? They have a small budget and they're like, hey, I want to take $300 a month and like build my brand across the state of Tennessee. It's like, well, good luck, man. That's not enough firepower to go to war with. And so you have to be realistic about that. But I want to go back to what you originally said, which is, standing at the edge of the Grand Canyon, massive void, lots of work, laborial, right? Good, man. That's where I want to play, because it's the reason why I wrote the Hunter Head game. People don't have killer instincts anymore. They're weak. They're soft, right? They buy $5 cheeseburgers and pay $8 to get it delivered to them because it's at the push of a button. They're lazy, which means that today it's easier to win than it's ever been, right? One, because of like Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, and all the guys that came before me said, be enthusiastic, have a positive mental attitude, show up on time, be dressed for success, right? Dude, if you will just show up and have a smile on your face and be nice to be around, you'll beat 90% of the people, because 90% of the people don't leave their house post-COVID. I had to bleep out COVID. That way we don't get like throttled by the algorithms. But you guys have to realize that right now it is easier to succeed than ever before. You have the internet, so we're more connected than ever. You have social media, so you can talk directly to your customers. And you have artificial intelligence, which is like, yeah, at times it can be a toddler, but it has infinite intelligence. So like all of your questions can be answered, right? I don't know how to do ... Dude, that excuse is completely obliterated now with the tools that we have. And so, I think, yeah, is it easier to make excuses than it is to put into work? 100%. It always has been. But is it easier to win now than it's ever been? I fully think so.
Yeah, I agree. I say that a lot, that I feel like there's more opportunity to win now than there ever has been. The challenge is that there's also more noise now than there ever has been. And so sometimes, making sure that you're clear on that vision and getting clarity can be hard because there's so much. At the same time, I do believe that it's making personal relationships more valuable, because people just aren't meeting face to face and shaking hands. So like we're seeing kind of a rise of a lot of those strategic partnerships that we are building are coming from more of those personal relationships. It's interesting to see that balance because all the focus has been on AI and growing that platform. And speaking of which, I know that with Ali, this is a tool that you built that honestly is more of like a team member than a tool, right?
We built it that way because I saw that AI was like, everybody was building tools, and I'm a brand guy. And so like, I knew that if we could build the tool to be a team member, then we could build a brand around it. I also believe that AI is different than just a pick or a shovel. Now don't get me wrong. There are a lot of Chat GPT wrapper products that some kid built in his mom's basement that are crap, and he's got 5 users, and like that's going to be what's going to be. However, we put the time, effort, and energy in to build Ali from the ground up the right way. So, and what do I mean by that? For instance, when Ali loads, she's fine-tuned on her brand blueprint. Her brand blueprint tells her a few things. She has a mission to save 10,000 small business owners from going extinct in this new era of AI. And she wants to save them with the spirit of a Harriet Tubman. She also has the empathy of Oprah and the pioneering spirit of an Amelia Earhart. She has the technical prowess of an Ada Lovelace, which is the first female programmer. You see where I'm going with this? We put into the technology what we wanted her to actually feel like. which is the difference from the ones and zeros that most of the AI technology is coded out of. And so that's why when you talk to her, when you interact with her, it's a good experience, right? People for, I'm not hearing it so much anymore, but like for the last couple of years, like people are like, people don't want to deal with AI. They'd rather talk to a human. I'm like, no. You don't want to talk to shitty AI. But if I can deal with AI and have a 2-minute conversation versus your office manager, Tina, who's going to fumble through a call for 6 minutes, like give me the 2-minute call with an AI rep, right? And so I just think we're going to change. And then ultimately, technology is undefeated. So, this stuff's coming. There's nothing any of us can do to stop it. I think Elon's even tried to say, hey, we need to put guardrails up because once the genie's out of the bottle, right? Fortunately, we've seen this movie before. If you guys remember the first time Mark Zuckerberg went to Capitol Hill and that old white hair senator was like, Mr. Zuckerberg, I don't understand. If the app's free, how do you make money? He's like, oh, we sell ads, sir. He's like, I get that, but how do you make money? It's like, oh, man, it's like we got a bunch of senile old men trying to make rules around technology they don't even understand. And so it's a bit of a Pandora's box. But I do have a belief that in the future, most small businesses will have human team members and they'll have AI team members. This week, I don't know when this will drop, but you guys can go look it up. It's Claude Cowork, and it's like it literally lives on your desktop, and it's these like AI agents that people have been talking about for 18 months. They're now starting to become easily accessible to where natural language is going to be able to tell them what to go do. And I'm super bullish on human beings being able to utilize the new tool. We did pretty good with fire and steel in the internet. I think we're going to do pretty good with AI as well. Until comes the war of the humans versus robots. At that point, it's gasoline and bullets and nothing else matters.
Yeah, you're going to go after him first.
Yeah.
My wife tells me that. My wife wants nothing to do. My wife wants nothing to do with AI, and like I'll cuss at them every once in a while. She's like, they're coming for you first, right? When this war starts.
All right. I have gasoline and bullets. It's okay. So let me ask you this. Would you consider Allie to be it's basically agentic AI, or is that an oversimplification? And then tell us about what it does, right? For the listener's benefit, what does it do and how is this implemented? This is basically like an agentic AI, but I can load it with all from my standpoint as an operator. We could take our private place memorandum, subscription booklet, operating agreement. It can have any conversation about the information. We're uploading it generically, but specifically to our deals. This is not a bot that is just calling leads and scheduling calls. This is a setter. Is that right?
Yeah. Like an initial call? I'm actually against outbound with AI. I like it for inbound because if a call comes into a business, there's like 40 to maybe 100 different scenarios, right? That could happen with an inbound call. You go outbound, dude, if anybody's ever done cold calling, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You go, hey, Rick, how's it going? It's DJ. What's up? And he goes, hey, DJ, hey, get down off the chair, right? He's like yelling at his toddler. And the AI bot's going to go like, I'm not standing on a chair, right? Like it has no context. And so I think that if I'm trying to build relationships, if I'm trying to gain business, right, and I'm doing outbound, which is like one of the hardest things to do in business, one-to-one outbound, I ain't leaving that one to the robots. I think that's the last place the humans should play in. Now, I am okay with it being inbound because most of that, you're right, people are seeing you, they know you, they're calling in with some questions, they want to book a call, like, cool, it's a customer service experience at that point. That is the difference. And because I've seen a lot of these like voice people, they went into outbound first. They do that because people are lazy. They don't want to make the calls, right? So they're like, oh, here, I'll sell you the painkiller instead of the vitamin. But Allie, honestly, man, the best thing I could do is tell people to call and talk to her. It's 502-401-1234. And ask her questions. That's easy. I think the best way to learn about AI is to experience it. That's why I'm like, you got to spend time on ChatGPT. You got to spend time on Claude. You just you got to roll up your sleeves and get in on it, man. But yeah, that's that. I would say, people could call and talk to her, but she's really made for inbound phone calls. It's a lead detective, right? She wants to make sure you never miss a lead that calls in and you never miss a lead that comes to your website because she can identify up to a third of your website traffic that doesn't fill out a form or call in.
Okay. Well, this may be, we may have already answered this question, but I got to ask it, which is, you argue most businesses are losing deals due to slow follow-up.
Oh, 100%.
We demand, what systems do you see working best to fix this without adding headcount?
Yeah, so I'm okay with automated text follow-up, right? Like if you have some automation where Allie collects the inbound and then sends it to a system that has automated texting. I just don't think that the outbound voice is good enough. But you're right. I mean, and this isn't me. an MIT study. There's a Harvard Business study that shows. I mean, I think Hermosi quoted one of these the other day where he was like, have a 4,000 times, success rate if you call the lead within the first 5 minutes, right? Like it's just, and it's fast. Like we see it with Allie. We see follow-ups on my sales team. You guys probably see it with you guys, right? Somebody sees your ad. They're looking at it. They're in that mindset. They opt in, like hop on them while they're still thinking about it. Because if you wait 2 days to call them back, they're going, what investing? No, I don't have any storage units. What are you talking about? Right? It's like they forget about it. Some of that has to do with this thing, right? Like we have the fucking attention span of a goldfish now because we're all just TikTok scrollers. But again, go back to my narrative why I think it's really easy to win right now.
Dude, there's so much there that I forgot the question I was going to ask that I was really excited about. So there's that.
I get on podcasting, I get to the end of it, and people are like, yeah, well, people are like, dude, we didn't even get to half these questions I had right now. I'm like, hey, man, I'm just here to jam.
No, it's so relevant right now. I think I'm having recency bias over this because I got the first call yesterday. I think I texted you. I was like, I just got my first AI call from a general partner, like from an operator. I click on other people's ads. I have retirement funds that I can't invest into my deals because I'm a general partner. It's called commingling and it's illegal. So I'm placing capital with other people. So, and I'm also always clicking on ads. I want to see their offerings. I want to see their PPM. I want to look at it. And so in the process, I get calls and emails and packets fairly regularly. And I got my first agentic AI call yesterday. And it was a terrible experience. And so it called me the first time and it was okay. But I got busy and I just hung up because it's a robot and they're not real people and I hate their feelings. I'm kidding. And then it called me back.
They're coming for you.
2 hours later, it called back. And exactly what you just said, DJ, is what happened to me. I just picked my boys up. I got a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, almost 3-year-old, sitting in the back seat. And it started talking to me. And every 10 seconds, one of them is saying something and it pauses. And it tries to calibrate. And it was so stop and go herky jerky. I stayed with it. In fact, I recorded the call because I wanted to send it to Neil. Because the first time around, I texted you and I was like, hey, I just got my first AI agentic call. And then it called back later. I answered it. I went through the whole experience for 2 or 3 minutes. It was excruciating, but I did it purposefully because, now I'm realizing why. It called me when I was not able to control what was happening in my life at the time. When I'm placing a call to you, I'm stepping out of the room. It's quiet. I'm making sure where I can hear you, or I'm dropping my kids off first, and then I'm calling you from the truck. When you're catching me in my slice of life, you never know what flavor you're going to get. And so that's very interesting. But the side of things where, say you have a lead come in and then it gets a text, hey, just saw that you clicked on this ad or you expressed interest in this or you called Nomad Capital or whatever. My name is Allie. I'm an assistant to a so-and-so. My job is to get you scheduled for a call. Can they do like, hey, we're going to send you an email with a 90-second YouTube clip about who we are, what we do? Like, how does that flow work? But ultimately, they're trying to get them scheduled for a call.
Yeah, this goes from like, to me, there's really only like 4 departments in a business, right? There's marketing, sales, admin, and ops. That's it. Like it's only taken me 20 years to figure this out, but that's business, right? And so you're going from marketing now to like rev ops, which is sales, right? And so because now it's like marketing's job is to get the intention. Once you get the attention, then it's sales' job to get the conversion, right? And so once I have that contact, what I call a lead, right? Like they've opted in, that outbound now, I just want to confirm intent, right? And so like, hey, it's Allie. I was following up. Know that you were checking out our storage unit deal online. Is this something you're actually interested in, or were you just poking around? I was just poking around, not interested. Cool. See you later. Like, the fuck do I need to burn tokens on following up with you for 19 days, right? Or if they don't follow up, like I'm going to keep poking them until they opt out, right? It's that old buy or die philosophy, which again, this is why I love AI and automation, is because I can tell AI, follow up with Neil for every 2 hours in the first day between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m., right? Like you tell an SDR that, a sales development rep, like, hey, I need every 2 hours you're following up this lead. They're like, I don't know, man. That's a little much. It's like, I don't need your feelings. I need you to follow the system. Well, guess what? Humans are terrible at that. Well, they think every human's like, well, I know the system says this, but I think I could do it better this way. It's like the robots go, whatever the system is, that's what I'm doing, right? And so I would tell you that you're 100% on par with like when somebody calls you, they're there. And I think that comes from like real business understanding. And I think that's why a lot of these bots suck, is because like some tech bro built them in a basement. They're not real business operators that understand how client communication should work. I'm a big fan of confirming intent. The next one should be, I wouldn't even go for the call. Like if you guys could make a quick little 60-second YouTube video that would get texted out, that'd be like, yo, hey, what's up? It's Neil. I know you were checking us out, blah, 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 blah. Here it is. Like if you're actually interested, just text me back on the number you got this from and like ask for the scheduling link. Text back, boom. Here's what's happening. We're moving from automation to AI. So most people that are listening to this right now, you probably have a CRM, you have some software that can like build out text message automation, but you had to put in what to say and it wasn't smart. It just sent that every time, right? So now if you have a text message follow up on day 3 that's like book your call, and they book their call on day 1, you look like an idiot, right? Because you're like, tell me to book another call. With AI, if you have a properly schema database, that artificial intelligence can like look and see what the interaction has been and then generate. That's the part of generative AI that is so magical, is like now if text number 4 is supposed to go out at the 4-hour mark and it looks to the database and is like, Neil's already got a call booked. Now the text just says, hey, Neil, I appreciate you booking the call, man. We'll talk to you soon, right? That is the power of like what is changing. I don't know if I answered your question directly, man, but sorry to pick on you, Neil.
He's got thick skin. He can handle it. So let me ask you this then. You have a strong opinion against cookie cutter marketing. Like you're very unique and you want to do things uniquely for each person, but at the same time, like you're trying to do this at scale and like on a larger scale. So like, what are the signals that you're trying to get a brand to put out there that people can connect with them? Like, how are you able to do that and do it uniquely for each brand, but also do it on a large scale and not have a cookie cutter system in place?
You have to. So this is where you can't be afraid to hurt people's feelings, and you can't be afraid for people to throw rocks at you. The world of like just putting out, Motivation Monday post, like that left 10 years ago. Now you've got to draw a line in the sand because like one, in the US, we're more polarized than we've ever been, right? And it's like, if you don't agree with one of the things on my side, then you're the absolute enemy on the other side. And I don't care which side you're on, it goes for the same. But if you know how to utilize that, you can use it to your advantage, right? And so I think you have to understand like beliefs, values, all the like business books from the 70s taught this stuff. Like it's still true, man. Like basic business still works. It's just layering into the new marketing systems. And so like, don't be afraid to like put yourself out there and what you believe in and what you stand for. Because to me, and again, somebody will be in my comments, like, I don't agree with you. That's cool, man. You don't have to. I'm not for everybody. And I'm okay with that. There's 8 billion of us, at least that's what they tell us, on this planet, right? And there's like 300 million of us in the States. I'm okay with having like, you only need like 100,000 people to really know who you are, and you can build a really big business. Right? Most businesses, if they just have a couple thousand customers, they're going to do okay. And so I think it's about putting yourself out there, getting comfortable, and then doing reps with it. And most people just don't want to do that because now it's like, oh, I got to make sure my lighting's good and make sure I look good on camera. I got to like brush my teeth and comb my hair. Damn it. I've been working from home for 5 years. I don't like this. To me, I think if you just be authentic, which like should go without saying, that's like some of the stuff they taught us in kindergarten, just be who you are. And then like, if you're a good person, Zig Ziglar used to teach us, Jim Rohn used to, like success is something that is attracted, not chased down. Right. And so if you're a good person, you have good values, you put yourself out there, success will come to you. It'll find you. The right people will find you. And it's a beautiful place now because you don't have to pay radio, TV, billboards, newspapers anymore. You can just make a video and it's seen by 200 people. Here's the problem, Clint. People make a video and they go, yeah, but coach, I got 180 views, man. I'm like, cool. If I put you in a conference room on stage in front of 180 people, you would shit your pants. But magically, because it's on social media, like it doesn't matter. Like those people don't matter as much than the real. Like it's crazy, man.
Interesting. Yeah, that's amazing. Again, I keep losing track of my thought because you keep.
I'm sorry. I know I'm a low energy guy too, guys. I apologize.
Yeah, it's like, let me just pull some information out of you, DJ. Give me something to work with here. Listen, I got a key word for you that strikes fear into the heart of a lot of people that this technology is catching up on them, and that's implementation. right?
Mm.
If you are one of these smaller businesses, medium-sized businesses, whatever, maybe you're in the twilight of your career, maybe you've been in a service business that's never really leaned into this space. But now the tsunami is on us. It's right here. You jumped in and started surfing this wave in 2022. Congratulations. We can't control the size of the wave. Your options are to get rolled or to learn to surf, right?
I
That's
like
pretty
that.
much, you can learn to ride the wave, and that's about your only option right now, or you're going to drown. So for that person, in terms of implementation, what does it look like for someone in that scenario to take what you are working on and your acumen and implement that into their business in a way that's not going to give them a heart attack?
I mean, I just talked to an agent yesterday from California. She got signed up for Allie. She's been an agent for 40 years, dude. So like, she didn't start when she was 2. Okay, let's just be clear there. It's never too late to start. Like, yeah, like you're probably hopping on the caboose at this point. The train has left the station. To give you some real world numbers, it took the internet. I'm going to use that term loosely. Again, hop in my comments and be like, well, you missaid this. The internet, loosely defined, took about 8 years to get to 700 million users. Facebook took 4 years. ChatGPT took 24 months. Okay. That's the speed of the acceleration. So what has happened, I think, was the internet, people are like, what is it? How's this work? Right? Like, oh, I got an email. Let me log in and check it. Right? It was kind of cool. Social media, it kind of went a little faster because we had kind of already seen this before. AI, like the T-Rex is back in the village for the third time. Everybody's like, run, right? Like we understand that, like, we got to go. My point being that if a agent in California that's been around for 40 years, she doesn't have a website. I mean, like, dude, she's like, I'm missing calls. I know I need to fix this. I've been looking at it. I just need to do it. Just go, right? One of my favorite frameworks to teach small business owners is the decision irreversible? Meaning, like, if you make the decision today, can we change it? Yes or no? And then what is the overall impact of the decision? And so if it's like a reversible decision, meaning like you could unplug some of this tech tomorrow, and like the impact is like maybe you lose 1 or 2 customers, right? It's like, why not, man? Most small business owners would have wildly more success if they would just make decisions faster. They hem and haw around. They need to gather more facts. They need to, like, no, dude, the time is done. Like, roll up your sleeves and work. Let's go. I don't know what you're waiting for. Ain't nobody coming to save you. But the good news is you're not a tree. So you can move, you can change. And the good news is after today, after you listen to this podcast, you don't ever have to be the same again. You can make the decision to make the change. And so roll up your sleeves, put in the work, spend the time, the effort, and the energy, and get moving.
So let's dig into some nuts and bolts here. We got about 6 or 7 minutes left before we got a hard stop to wrap this up. So there's not enough time to get into it now, but I want to know, like, give us an overview of what this is. If for the listeners sitting out there that need to know, what is Allie? What is this product? What can it do? How can it impact their business? Like, give me the elevator pitch, and then
Yeah, it's easy. It won't take 6 minutes. She does 2 things. She's a lead detective. She makes sure that the anonymous website traffic that you're getting right now, 97% of website traffic never converts. Comes to your website and it leaves. She makes sure that 1/3 of that is identified for you. Name, location, and referring URL. So you know what content sent them there. You know who the person's name is and what their email address is so that you can follow up. And it's perfectly legal because we use the exact same technology that Meta, Google, and Amazon uses, right? When those red pair of shoes follow you around the internet. So that's on your website. On the phone side, she makes sure that your calls never go to voicemail and you never miss a call again, right? Because depending on what service you sell, right, for you guys, an investment, like, geez, man, I'm calling trying to put 100K with you guys. You don't answer the phone call, like, that's a $100,000 opportunity you missed. And so for us, it's just about making sure that you have AI in the place that I think is most important in business, which is missing opportunities. Because back to my fundamental belief, if you had more people who knew about you and you could convert them, you could close them, you make more money. If you make more money, 90% of the business problems that you have, you can throw money at, they'll go away. So if you want to check it out more, you can go to hireally.com, hire, HIREALLI.com. It's, it's nothing crazy about her name. People are like, how'd you come up with Allie? I'm like, it's AI with 2 L's in the middle. That's it. Nothing more.
So hireally.com. And then you said there was a phone number earlier where you could call and talk to her. What was that number?
502-401 1234.
I can't wait to jump in and check that out. That's very, very interesting. So what are her capabilities? Like, what can she do? She's scheduling calls, making sure people are communicated with. She's taking a summary, sending that over an email form. Like, how does that work on the back end?
So I mean, she's got an app. So we're in the iOS and the Android store. So like, as soon as she takes a call, you get a notification right inside of your app that shows you like who called, what they said, what was it about. And then again, she's trained on your business. We're a SaaS product, right? We're software as a service, but we're heavy on the service side because we know that Paul, the plumber, and Sarah that sells sourdough is not ready to log into a system and build out an AI agent. And so you log in, you answer like a 7-step questionnaire, and then my team gets back to you within 48 hours and says, hey, here's the phone number and your area code that Allie's plugged into. You can forward your phones. It could be like after 3 rings they can go to it, after whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's powerful. Check it out, man. I don't want to be too pitchy. I just want to come here and deliver value.
Well, I mean, we've barely scratched the surface. We could talk for another 30 minutes.
We'll have to do it again, man.
Yeah, well, we will do it again. This has been great. This is a question we ask every guest, and I'm curious to hear your answer, which is there a book or resource that you find yourself recommending again and again to friends and colleagues?
Yeah, so shameless plug, obviously, hunterheadgame.com. It's my 500-page, 10-year manuscript. I used Anthropic's Claude and ChatGPT to edit it down to 250 pages. So it's right over my shoulder here. The other one that most people know Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. They don't know about Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It was so powerful that his wife didn't want him to release it. It wasn't released until he passed away. Game-changing book, man, from a mindset standpoint. And I think most people are held back by their self-limiting beliefs in their mindset. That's why I'm a big fan of it. And so, yeah, those would be my 2 recommendations.
150 episodes. I don't think anybody's recommended that one yet. So
let's go.
I'll be downloading that one today.
Yeah.
So
the audiobook's crazy, man, because they use like 2 different voices and like the devil's in there. And so like he like speaks like he's it's a fun listen.
We should have to get that voice on our AI. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Coach Carroll, this has been great. I feel like we are just at the cusp of this being broadly mainstream. I'm sure you feel that it's been that way for a while. It's still just changing so rapidly that I have no doubt that we are probably going to need to do this again. We're probably going to need to block more time.
We'll do a Joe Rogan 3-hour one.
There we go.
Yeah.
And probably I would love to do it in a situation where we could use examples of how AI has helped our business, maybe Allie being the way that we do that. So
yeah, man. Yep. The good news is you guys can get the free trial to the lead detection. You get your first 50 leads for free. So let's go to hireally.com, sign up, and it's easy onboard, easy plug-in.
All right. It's on the to-do list for today. So listen, DJ Carroll, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I think I have the answer to this, but go ahead and tell us again, please. If any of our listeners want to connect with you, find out more about what you do or how you can help them, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Would love to connect with everybody. Just go to coachcarroll.com. That's like the hub central that'll get you to everywhere. I put content out literally daily. I've got a podcast, everything that's out there. coachcarroll.com, CARROLL.com. Clint, Neil, can't thank you guys enough. And guys, if you're listening to this thing, you made it all the way to the end, go give these guys a subscribe, a review, and share it out to your friends so they can help get it in front of more people. Appreciate you guys having me on.
All right, DJ, checks in the mail.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
That's what's worth it, baby.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks again, Coach Carroll. We certainly appreciate your time.